welcome to Salubrisking with Dr. Irene's special edition Wellness Revival. Today I'm joined by a very special guest to help us navigate through the Wellness Revival fitness component. Sarah has over 26 years experience guiding and mentoring her clients to achieve their goals and long-term success in health, strength and wellness. Sarah dedicated her first career to dancing as a professional level ballerina. After working through a back injury forcing her out of dancing, she turned her career to helping others improve their health and well-being by becoming a fitness professional. Hello and welcome, Sarah.
Hello, Irene. How are you?
Yeah, I'm well. I've actually known you for some years now, and one thing I know about you that is why I wanted you on this special edition of Salubrisking with Dr. Irene is that you're so passionate about helping people with their fitness, but so passionate in the perspective of making sure their health is optimal and preventing injury and all that sort of thing so that they get the best out of their workout. So I thought if anyone's wanting to get into fitness or wanting to take it to the next level, you are the person they need to see. So let's talk about the person who, because I've had a lot of, it's only January now, we're recording this a little bit earlier. We're launching this in February, but already I've had a lot of patients wanting to get off the couch and start getting into some fitness activities. So how can we, well, what do you recommend people do to get started on their fitness journey?
Well, there's so many options that they can do. I think the most important thing is if they're nervous about joining a gym or starting something fresh in a training studio, that maybe they could actually find a friend. A training partner is really important because that holds each other. They can hold each other accountable. If that's not an option and you don't have anyone that's got a like-minded goals as you, find a studio that can offer you some personal training. A boutique studio which is what I work in, which is just a smaller studio offering personal training mainly. We do 2-on-1s as well. That is the option, the best option for people starting out. One, you're getting the care of a one-on-one appointment, so that trainer gets to know you very well, and gets to know how your body works. We test them posturally and all the rest of it. We also guide them to setting goals. So it gets them to make an appointment with the trainer. It gets them off the couch. They have to go somewhere. They have to be somewhere by a certain time. They've got someone waiting there for them for that day. Look, if you don't have a studio near you, the other option is a gym. The bigger gyms do offer personal training as well. So maybe you could try and get a couple of sessions at least to start you off with a personal trainer. And the bigger gyms do also offer you group sessions, which is also an option. But whatever works for you to make sure it's a lifestyle change. And that's where people fall flat. They make their membership, they go and join, they make the appointment, and it doesn't last. The retention rate's really bad. So you need something that's going to fit into your lifestyle. So it's somewhere where you can block out that time each week. 2 or 3 times is perfect. And then get started in that way, and nothing gets in the way of those appointments. You actually block them out completely.
Yeah. And
so
so when they would come, let's just say they come to you and they say, I think it works best when they come one-on-one, because then, because I do a lot of group fitness classes, and I actually started doing pump, which was great. I couldn't walk for the first 5 days, and now I did my 3rd class, and I'm like, I didn't actually feel anything, and maybe I need to lift more weights. Maybe I need to be going twice a week now. So it's working. Because I didn't actually feel any pain the last time. So I think by doing the one-on-one, you are able to change the weights around or the exercises around to help that progression moving.
Absolutely. And the progression is really important. And that's where the stalemate happens if you haven't got that person doing the progressions for you. So the personal trainer does all the thinking. It's their job. And they're progressing you without you even knowing. So I say to half my clients, how much stronger have you got in this area? Or how much? And they're like, I realized that. And I said, I've got my personal goals for you as well. So we do challenge ourselves as trainers with every single client, and everybody is different,
Mm.
and everyone's going to progress differently. And not having the knowledge, and like yourself being in that class, getting frustrated because you can't work out where and how to slightly improve your workouts on a week-to-week basis, that's when frustration sets in, and that's where unfortunately people walk away from fitness and health.
Yeah.
It's
So
sad.
what do they have? What options do they have when they come into a boutique studio like yourself? Is it cardio?
Hmm.
Is it weights? Do you do everything? What would they be expecting if they come in and see?
Everything you can get at a gym, a big gym, but it's in a smaller environment. So it's a smaller room, but the personal trainer, you get a lot more attention. So you've got the one-on-one attention, you've got the cardio aspect and the strength training aspect, and we'll always cater to the likes and the needs of the client. That's the most important thing. But we will also guide them in the area of where we feel that they're needing the help.
Mhm.
So whenever somebody walks into an appointment, their first initial appointment with me is, I always tell them, you're not going to get a workout because I need to learn how your body moves. So I do a postural analysis. We sit down and we do a medical history. And I basically get to know how and why their body is where it is at the moment.
Okay.
I check out how they move. We look at their flexibility. And the second session is when I start to go hammer tong. So I've gone away, I've thought about the client, we've worked out what her goals are or his goals are, and then we start to go further. But the cardio and the strength component are very important components of training. So they're both as equally as important. You don't have to run on a treadmill for an hour a week or an hour a day to get the results that you need, if it's weight loss or if you're trying to go for a marathon or all sorts of different goals. There are different ways of us secretly bringing in the cardio if you're not a cardio person. And we basically get your heart rate up and working whilst we're doing weights.
Mhm.
So there's a way of working. We train you differently. So we might do more of a HIIT component, or we might train you just with weights, but get you moving a little bit quicker, dropping down to the floor and then coming back up. That spikes your heart rate, so the heart rate gets moving a little bit faster. So there's your component of your cardio coming into it, but you're still using the weights and building enough muscle to keep the metabolism moving.
Mm.
So strength training is very, very important to build muscle, not big, but just to develop the muscle.
Yeah.
Rather than it being saggy and not even there, that actually starts to produce your metabolism and get your metabolism moving faster.
So one thing I see a lot in clinic, a lot of patients commenting about, is once they've gone into menopause,
Mm,
they're starting to carry the weight around the middle,
mm,
and it frustrates them. Maybe they're people that were always lean in their life. They don't
yeah.
seem to be eating anything. They're eating pretty healthy. When I go through their diet, they're eating pretty healthy. Obviously, the hormones have changed, and depositing fat
Mm-hmm.
around the middle is what the body does to deal with where they are in their life. Do you
Yes.
change your training to tailor for that sort of
Yeah.
person? So,
Definitely,
okay.
definitely. And that's where your interval training comes in really, really importantly. So that's where the heart rate is important to stay up. I only train my clients for, most of them, for half an hour.
Oh,
Every session is half an hour. It's only a 30-minute session.
okay.
If they've got massive goals, like we're talking a figure competition or anything like that, then they'll go to an hour. But you only need half an hour, especially for women that have gone into menopause.
Okay.
So we keep their heart rate really high, and we keep them moving. So that's the best thing. And what that idea of that is that it continually burns when they stop training. So they walk out the door from my session, but the body is still functioning and still working. That heart rate's still pumping and it's still burning through those calories for 24 hours.
Okay. And so even someone in that situation should be doing it 2 or 3 times a week. So
Yeah.
is that pretty set standard? Okay.
Yes, and I tend to set a little bit of homework as well. So we get them to do things in between our sessions.
Okay.
So nothing major where they're at home doing a full-on workout and they've got to set up their whole lounge room. There's nothing like that. It might just be simply walking for an hour, but I want them to walk vigorously and fast. It might only be a 40-minute walk, but they need to be puffing.
Yeah.
Um, You need to be puffing so that you can maybe hold a conversation, or maybe it's just a little bit harder to hold a conversation, and that means you're burning more the less you can talk. So
Okay.
you want to maintain that for as long as possible, and we get them walking in between our sessions. It depends on the client, as you said, that would suit the client that we're talking about with the menopause. But then there's other clients that come in and they need structural work, so they need postural work.
All right.
So we would send them home with homework to do at home, with a bit more gentler homework. But
Okay.
it's nothing major.
So what about keeping motivated? So I think that's one
Mm,
thing, not necessarily for those people that are already doing exercises, because obviously that's formed part of their lifestyle. But if someone is now creating new routines in their day to day, they're not necessarily used to training regularly, and they're struggling. I mean, it's a great time of year to do it, because when the weather is
mm,
good, our motivation's much higher, and getting that consistency now will set in for winter. But how do you
yeah.
keep motivated, or what any tips to keeping motivated when you're creating that change?
Yeah, I variety. Variety is the key. One, find some people don't like variety, but most people, variety is the key.
Yeah.
Some people are very routine based, and that's all fine. But you need to find something that you're passionate about and that you enjoy doing. That you need to love doing it or enjoy doing it. Um, if you're not enjoying the environment, or you're not enjoying what you're doing, then you're not going to be able to retain that with
Yeah.
motivation. Set yourself some small goals. Ask your trainer to help you set some goals so that you've got to reach those goals on a day-to-day basis,
Yeah.
or a workout-to-workout basis.
Okay.
With the variety, try new types and forms of exercise. You might like to try cycling. You might like to try a different class, like a Pilates-based class. As
Mhm.
long as you are still moving and still maintaining exercise, that's the most important thing.
Yeah. And what works for your body as well.
Mm,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
So we touched on it a little bit before,
Mm-hmm.
with cardio and strength training.
Yes.
So they're both obviously as equally important.
Yes.
When you're in sessions, does this person do both in the same session, or would you do like a cardio session one day and then a weight session another day?
Yes, we can split it. It's you need to get to know, it's individual to the client and which
Okay.
client enjoys what, but you can vary it up. So for the first 10 minutes, I might do a little bit more cardio based. Sometimes I include boot camp type work. So we might do ropes, the battle ropes, stepper, mountain climbers, little things like that. We might go for a little jog. We'll do a little bit of that for 10-15 minutes, and then we'll get into strength training. Sometimes I'll mix it up. Sometimes we'll do strength training with weights, and then in between we'll do a couple of exercises, and then we'll drop and do something that's going to bring the heart rate in a little bit quicker as well.
Okay.
So with my clients, I vary it client to client, and it's quite important because everybody is different.
Yeah.
Everybody enjoys something that's different. So I'm not going to make my client that absolutely hates cardio
Yeah.
do a cardio session of running on a treadmill for an hour.
That's me.
I've just
I
got to
hate running on
keeping it fresh and
treadmills.
interesting. Yeah,
I see a
keeping it fresh.
treadmill and I start getting hives. I'm like, no, don't put me near a
No,
treadmill.
no. Some people love it.
Oh,
But yeah,
I'm so
so
scared of running off it and just hurting myself.
that's not good. Yeah.
No, no, fear is not good.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
A combination, to answer your question, a combination of strength and cardio is very important, but it's all about the motivation and retention.
Okay.
So it's
So,
all about finding what you like doing.
so if someone's saying, I mean, everyone gets into fitness for various reasons. Someone might want to lose some weight. Someone might just want to keep up with their children running around. It could be
Yeah.
whatever it is. Do you think it's a good idea to have, say someone says, I want to lose 5 kilos, I want to lose 20 kilos.
Mm,
I'm just thinking of some patients, the conversations we have of late, and um, it seems to be that people are afraid to put a number
yeah.
because it sort of can, not, I don't know if it's frightening them because it seems unattainable, or they don't want to get discouraged by seeing that number. What do you think mentally is the best approach? Is it ideal to have a number, or best to ignore it and just go by how you're feeling?
My personal choice is, for example, if somebody came to me and said, I got to lose 5 kilos before I need to get to a wedding in a month's time,
Okay.
I would say to them, okay, that's great. Let's change their mindset. Let's focus on in a month's time, you're actually needing to be going to the gym 3 times a week,
Okay.
and you need to be religiously looking at what you're nourishing your body with. So how am I eating? Let's not eat between meals. Let's reduce our sizes. If we're hungry in that snack period time at 3 o'clock, which we all are, then look for something low in calorie. Look for something like a bowl of berries and eat them like chips. You know, sit down and think about what you're doing. And then in that month's time, you will have the same goal. But if you were going to put the number on it and you were going to say, no, I've got to lose the 5 kilo, I've got to lose, you're going to live your life on those scales and you're going to be stressed, and that causes stress eating. And that gets the adrenaline going. So you're going to cause cortisol. You're going to store fat around your middle. Keep it calm, keep it relaxed, keep it simple. Okay. And don't, I recommend never put numbers on things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's better to have an objective of just wanting to go more regularly, being fitter, lifting heavier weight or something like that.
Focus on what you're doing at the time, but make sure your goal is, instead of the weight loss or the number, that you're at the gym 3-4 times a week.
Yeah.
I have to tick off every day, right? I've done it, and I've done it. Because the body will come. If you're looking after your nourishment and you're eating well and healthy and you're eating enough, then you will lose, the weight will happen, the body will come.
Yeah. And
if everything else is functioning well.
Yeah. So I think, so do you discuss diet and nutrition, food with people as well? Okay.
Yes, we do. Yeah. Okay. I always look at micronutrients and macronutrients. Okay. So micronutrients being the nourishment of the vitamins and the support. When people start an exercise program, they generally go in hard and fast. So I like to try and get them to nurture their body through that and nurture their immune system, because their immune system will be challenged. Yeah. When they start to tear muscle, which is natural. When you do a weight workout, you're naturally tearing tiny, tiny little fibers in your muscles. The repair process makes your body work harder. Yeah. So to nourish them and to prevent them getting sick, which then interrupts the retention, which then interrupts the motivation, and that's what the prevention is. That's what I'm trying to prevent from happening. So we nourish them from word get-go. Yeah.
It sounds really good, because I think obviously myself seeing a lot of patients that have the illness perspective, they, even with myself, I know when I push myself and go more often to the gym, I'll get a spot here and there, because that's my body going, you're challenging me a little bit here. And then that'll straight away I'll put the brakes on. I'll be like, oh, okay, what am I doing? Take it back a notch. Maybe I'm doing too much, maybe this, maybe that. So it's really important to have that.
Point. Yeah, it's a great point, Irene, because you're listening to your body. Yeah. Okay, so the biggest thing and the best thing someone can do is to tune in to your body and your system. Yeah. Listen to what it's telling you and follow its guide.
Yeah. No, that sounds great. Okay, so people getting ready to get fit for 2020, we're saying have an accountability buddy, which is always great. I think my husband got me into fitness because he was doing the 1,000 steps together. And even though he was being cheeky by, when we get to the bottom, he'd say, do you want to go back home? I'd pick up a rock and throw it at him. It's good to have an accountability buddy. Obviously having a trainer who can choose specific workouts for your needs and what your goals are. Keeping goals.
You have an appointment booked.
Yeah. So having that commitment and, respecting the other person's time
Mm.
and, you know, following through, I think is really important. You know, that's
Mm.
something that I teach my son already, is respecting other people's time.
Right.
And so you're having that, but you're also having someone who's following you through on your fitness journey. So they're changing it up so that you keep moving forward, as
Yes.
opposed to going to a massive gym and getting lost in the system. I've even, someone said to me, one of my patients, he was at the gym. Now he's built himself a little gym at home and he doesn't go, but
Mm.
he was saying to a personal trainer, he
Mm.
said, hey, that person over there is doing it all wrong. You know,
Mm.
maybe you should go and give him a hand. And he
Mm.
said, we're not allowed to. And he's thinking, well, they're in the gym, they've paid their membership, you're a trained
Mm.
professional, go help them. And he was like, no, we're not allowed to go. And if they sustain any injuries, that way we're not,
Mm.
because they're not my client, basically. So even though
Yeah.
you're under that space of the gym, you really are there on your own. So having
Pretty
someone who's
much.
actually guiding you along that process is a lot better. And I see it even in my group fitness classes, people doing things incorrectly, or even step people coming in about 4 tracks in and they haven't
Missing
warmed up, and then they, you know, roll their ankle because they
one.
haven't
Mm.
warmed up. So I think having someone who can be there for you and work towards building up that fitness is a
Yeah.
great way to go.
An important point to make on that example that you mentioned in regards to the gentleman that couldn't help, the personal trainer that couldn't help the gentleman that was making a mistake, or not knowing what he was doing. It's important to note that the gyms do offer an opportunity for you to rebook in, though, for a reassessment.
Mm-hmm.
So the gyms do have a process, and maybe the personal trainer would have been good to say, oh, maybe you need to book in for a
Yeah.
reassessment. That might have been a great idea to say that. I don't know what happened, but
And
it
I'm
would have been
getting
nice
it third
for him
person
to
as well.
feel that he had something to go to, since he's paying all that membership money.
Yeah. And I don't
Mm.
know which gym it is and what their policies are, but
Yeah.
I think he was just kind of saying it, well, what's the point of going to a gym really? So he set up, excuse me, his home studio so that he can just stay at home. And he goes, I don't have to wait for any weights. I can just do it with myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's been really good. Anything else you have as little insight into motivating someone to get started if they haven't
Yeah. Look,
already?
just don't think too hard about it. Don't
Mm,
procrastinate. Don't put too much energy into it. Put the
yeah.
energy into actually getting to the appointment. Put
Yeah.
the energy into the actual workout.
Yeah.
Don't put the energy into the procrastination of shouldn't I, shouldn't I? Oh, I shouldn't really. Oh, maybe I'll do that later in the day, or maybe I'll do that tomorrow. It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
All right. So book, and
Yeah.
make it an appointment.
Yeah.
So because you'd never stand your doctor up, you'd never stand your GP up. They'd never not go to an appointment that they needed to go to. So put it down as being one of those very important appointments, because it is. It's
Mm,
about your health moving forward. It's about bone density. It's about prevention of disease. This
mm,
is there's no time to put off.
yeah.
You just got to get onto it. No
Yeah.
procrastination.
Sounds good. I'm going to be making my phone call very soon.
Hey, I'll ring you tomorrow.
I know. I guess me personally, I thought, yeah, great. I found pump. This is good. And this week I was kind of like, oh, didn't even feel like I did anything. I'd like to feel a bit of pain, you know. I'd
Yeah,
like to
yeah,
feel
yeah, yeah.
I've done a workout.
Always
So
ask your instructor.
yeah, well, maybe I should
Ask
have lifted heavier weights. I think maybe it was my thing. But that's the thing when you're in that
how
very quick changeover, you don't really know,
yeah,
you know, do I go heavier? So I do mess about
yeah.
a bit and try and change
So
it up.
remember what I said back in the first start of the interview, have
Mm,
your goals before you walk in the door.
yeah.
So in your pump class, you would have thought, okay, squats track and bicep track. I'm going to put more weight on my bar.
Okay.
So there's your challenge. There's your small goal. And you can
Okay.
walk out of that class going, nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed it. I feel fantastic.
Yeah.
I have gone up, and you would feel good about yourself. So you want to walk
Okay.
out that door feeling good.
That's a really great tip. I really
Yes.
appreciate that because I kept it the same because
Wow.
I just think, because I I
You're
hurt so
losing.
much last time. I thought, well, I'm
Yeah.
going to hurt the same. and it didn't happen. So obviously I need to keep that up. So just on a different note, this is personal and sorry for people listening. How often would you be putting weights up then?
With body pump particularly?
Yeah.
Body pump, I've taught body pump for 21 years. I absolutely love the program. I always used to say to my members that would come into the door, right, who's thought about what they're putting up? So at least 1 or 2 tracks.
Okay.
So you would put it up by your 1.25 kilo weight.
Okay.
So on your bar. So you would put the weight on for the 1 track and do your best to get through the whole 5-minute track.
Okay.
If you can't get through the whole 5-minute track with that weight that you've popped on, you pause.
Okay.
Let everybody continue with their reps, roll it out, have a stretch and pick it up. And then the next goal for you the next week is to stay on that weight, but not pause.
So you don't lower the weight?
Never lower the weight.
Okay, you keep it where it is, but just have a bit of a mini break.
Mini break.
Okay.
And then your next week, your option is to get rid of the mini break.
Okay.
And stay on the weight.
Okay. Sounds good.
Easy.
I'll try that. I'll think of you next time I'm there.
Love it.
Okay, I'm going to stop talking now because I think that's huge amounts of information. I think the main key also variety, keeping things various and different, and love what you're doing. So if it's not lifting weights, it's then doing something else, but keeping the body moving and keeping it active is the best approach.
Yes.
Health. Overall health.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Definitely.
great. Oh, now important. What are your details? How do people reach out to you if they want to book in a session or even have a chat to you to see if it's right for them? How do they go about doing that?
So I've got a public Instagram account, which is probably the best option, and that's Sarah Nugent, personal training wellness coach.
Okay.
So you're best to reach out through that, or the studio I work out at is called Athletic HQ, and they're in Blackburn. So you can jump on their website and you can find my phone number as a contact, or you can pop in if you're in the local area.
Okay, so Sarah Nugent, personal trainer.
Personal trainer,
and wellness,
or Athletic HQ.
Okay.
I'll just double check that actually.
I think
so
I saw
Sarah Nugent personal training.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right, because I was actually looking for Sarah Nugent, and there's so many Sarah Nugents that come.
I know. Just whack on personal training and you'll find me.
Okay, excellent. And Athletic HQ, you can go there and they'll find your details there as well.
Yeah, and the website will help them go through the booking process. But give me a call first.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good.
Have
Okay.
a chat.
Thank you, Sarah. We both love to chat. What can we say?
I know. Whoopsie.
And we'll catch you very soon. And thank you for the information. That was really good. And I hope everyone found it as insightful as I did, because, it doesn't matter where you are, whether you're just starting or you want to take it next level, you always need to change things up and get things moving and more inspired, because, I think sometimes too much routine can get a little bit boring. So if you have any questions or comments, please drop them below. If there's anything that we didn't talk about and you want more information on, let us know. Reach out to Sarah at her Instagram page. You can email me at info@salubre.com.au if you, for whatever reason, can't find Sarah's details, and I'm happy to pass them on to you as well. Stay tuned for more information on our Wellness Revival and how you can get more involved. And I hope you found this as insightful as I did, and I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.